how do we know how much carbon dioxide we're putting in the atmosphere every year? We're worried about global warming. The number is obviously very important, but how do we know it? It seems very difficult to figure out how much carbon dioxide is being put in the air from every power plant, every car, every truck, every ship. It seems very complicated, but it's actually not that difficult. It's tedious, but not that difficult. So the first thing we've got to figure out is how much is going up there. And it's actually very easy because all the fossil fuel producers in the world tell us. Yes, they tell us. Because any publicly traded company is going to give reports to the shareholder saying how much of their fossil fuel they produced and how much money they made. And even non-publicly traded companies will still allow themselves to be audited because they want to secure credit. And credit is based on, well, how much money can you make? How much money you can make is based on how much you produce. So this information is actually fairly widely available. So the world's largest coal producer is Coal India. And every year, Coal India produces approximately 534 million tons of coal. Now, coal is almost pure carbon. And if you take one carbon atom and add two oxygen atoms, you get carbon dioxide. So there's two oxygen atoms for every one carbon atom. You just simply take this, multiply it by 3, so times 3, and you're going to find that you end up with about 1.6 billion tons of CO2. Now, by the way, it's not exactly times 3 because an oxygen atom is a little heavier than a carbon atom, but we're just trying to make this quick, easy, and less tedious. And if you want to find out how much carbon dioxide is produced by all the coal burning in the world, you just go company by company. How much coal did you produce? Assume it all got burned. Do the math. It's tedious, but it isn't difficult. Now let's go to oil. The world's biggest oil producer is Saudi Aramco. And every year they tell us that they produce approximately, 4,964,000,000 barrels of oil. How do you spell barrels? Does it matter how you spell barrels? Now, not all oil is the same. Light sweet crude would be lighter than heavy crude. So there's a variety, but in general, just for the sake of ease, it's about 7 barrels weighs a ton. So divide that by 7, and you're going to get, I wrote this down already, 709 million tons of oil. Now, again, we're going to multiply by 3. Now, oil is not all carbon, so some of the weight is hydrogen, and when you burn it, when you mix it with oxygen, you're going to get some water vapor. In fact, you're going to probably get as much water vapor as carbon dioxide. We're just kind of doing back of the envelope calculations. We're not, if you were really trying to calculate this really precisely, you would figure out exactly, is that oil heavy crude? Is it bunker oil? Is it light sweet crude? You would figure that out. We're not trying to be tedious. We're just trying to show you how it's done. Okay, so you multiply that, and what do you get? You get 2 billion 181 million tons of CO2. It's still a lot of carbon dioxide. Now, finally, natural gas. Natural gas is still a fossil fuel. It's cleaner than these, but it still produces carbon dioxide. The world's largest natural gas producer is a company called Gazprom. Gazprom produces 513 billion cubic meters of natural gas, which is mostly methane, but not all methane. Now, in order to find out how much that's going to weigh, we're going to multiply that by 0.8 kilograms per meter cube. Now, by the way, natural gas is mostly methane, but there's also ethane, propane, other stuff in it. Usually skunk gas is added to it. So natural gas in one place might not be the same as somewhere else. but we're not trying to be tedious. We're just trying to get a back of the envelope estimate. So you do this, you end up with 410 billion kilograms, but we weren't looking at kilograms, we're looking at metric tons, so 1,000 kilograms in a metric ton, so we just go, there you go, and we end up with 410 million tons of CO2. And if you want to find out how much all the gas, natural gas being burned in the world produces, oh wait, whoa, hold on, stop myself. Tons natural gas. Hold on a second, I knew this was getting too easy. Natural gas, so that's how much that weighs. And then we got to multiply it by 3. That was my mistake. So multiply by 3, and I get 1.2, oh sorry, 1,200,000,000, I thought that number seemed small, 230 million tons of CO2. Sorry about that. But if we're trying to figure out how much carbon dioxide is being produced all over, we can't count all the cars, but we can count all the oil that's being produced to fuel those cars. We can't count every fireplace in India, but we can go by the estimates produced by the companies that supply the coal. And the same thing goes with natural gas. I can't monitor every stove on the planet, but we can keep track of how much the gas companies produce. And it's fairly easy. It's a very straightforward process. It's a tedious process because you have to go company by company by company by company and then look at the differences of oil, differences in natural gas. But you can do it. And we can estimate the CO2. And if you ever wondered how we do it, that's how. Thank you, and I hope you've had a nice day.